guys, it's Niveda. Welcome back to my channel. This is a get to know me type of video. Finally, I am going to tell you guys a little bit more about myself, also answer some of the questions that you have been leaving on my videos. So it's kind of going to be like a little messy, disorganized video. Alright, so to start off, my name is Niveda, which you guys know already. So my YouTube name is Niveda108, and the 108 is just something that stuck with me since childhood. It was actually my very first email address name that my dad named for me. 108 is basically, for us, like a religious number, so I just kind of stuck with it. I am 23 years old. My birthday is May 6th. 93, so I'm a 90s baby. I am South Indian. I am 100% Tamil. Both my parents are from South India. So my dad is from Salem, if anyone knows where Salem is, and my mom is actually from a small village called Dindivanam. So both of them are born and raised in India. My brother was born in India, and then we moved to Australia, which is where I was born. So I'm actually an Australian and American dual citizen, which is kind of cool. So I was born in Sydney, and then we ended up moving to America, where we currently are. My brother is 29. He works as a biomedical engineer. He is like my day one. He is my brother, best friend, like, he's the best. He is the person that I go to for advice. I also go to my parents for advice. In the past few years, my parents and I have also become best friends to the point that they pretty much know everything about my life. We gossip, we like share secrets, and it's great. And I think a huge part of it is because I'm a very family person. I'm very family oriented. I'm like a homebody. I miss being home so much. I do speak Tamil. I understand it fluently and I speak it really well. Basically, growing up, my parents had this rule in the house that my brother and I had to speak Tamil inside the house. So like if we're at school, okay, go ahead, speak English, but whenever you come inside the house, only Tamil. So that was actually really helpful in making sure that we learned the language and we were able to understand it, and I think that's the reason why we speak it so well. I am in my second year of veterinary medical school, so this is post-grad. It's a doctorate degree, and it's essentially the same as medical school except for animals, so it's 4 years and then 2 to 3 years residency afterwards if you choose to specialize. Going along with the school theme, I went to Rutgers University for undergrad, and I graduated majoring in biological sciences and animal sciences. So a common question I get asked both over the internet and in person is why I chose veterinary school. And I understand it's kind of uncommon, at least with the group of people I grew up with, for an Indian to go to veterinary school instead of, let's say, regular medicine. For me, it's really as simple as the cliche, I love animals, and I really do, like a lot. I love animals. In second grade, we had to write out a little notebook, and it was like a picture that you had to draw and a little blurb, and it started with I want to be, and then you had to fill in the rest. And I wrote down animal doctor, and I knew from like back then, second grade, I said I wanted to be an animal doctor. With the help and support of my family, like I got into vet school and I'm pursuing it, and it's really a dream come true. So being in vet school, if I wanted to say what I want to do as a career, my main interest is animal welfare, animal ethics, rights, and basically that falls into a few different categories. So right now my focus is on shelter medicine and forensics medicine. So that's dealing with a lot of cruelty, abuse, negligence, and it's really the nitty-gritty bad stuff of like animal welfare, and that's actually what I am most interested in. That's what I'm most passionate about, and that passion kind of grew over the years. It just keeps getting stronger, so I know that that's what I want to do, and I'm gonna have to figure out how I can kind of incorporate that into a career. Most of that work would be nonprofit, so I am excited to see how this goes and where I end up. But yeah, talking about my interest in animal welfare, I guess that's mainly how my whole veganism started. I ate meat my entire life, so even beef. Like as an Indian, I also ate beef, and basically for 20 years. And it wasn't until very recent, so I've only been vegan for almost 2 years now, and it really wasn't until maybe a year before I decided to be vegan that I really got involved with educating myself about what was going on in the animal industry and kind of just becoming more knowledgeable. It definitely wasn't easy by any means. Having started eating meat, it was really hard to let go. So yeah, I became vegan, and to basically summarize why in one sentence is, I guess I'm now against animal exploitation, and I guess that just means that if I don't need something, like if I don't need meat, then why would I, consume it or use it? And I started putting a lot of importance to animal lives, which I didn't think I was able to make the connection before. And the way we like market things and advertise things, it's hard to actually make the connection between animal and what's on your plate. I am a plant-based eater and I'm trying to become vegan with my lifestyle. I obviously promote lots of cruelty-free and vegan makeup products, and that's definitely a change that's been easier for me to make. It's been a little bit more difficult with clothing, with shoes, with household products. They're so difficult. Almost everything has animal products in it, which is kind of disturbing. It's either things have animal products in it or they're being tested on animals. So it is really difficult to kind of just say I'm 100% vegan. The turnover is really, really hard, but I am trying. I'm doing a lot of research on whenever I buy things. So for anyone that's struggling, like, don't rush it. It's not easy. We live in a world where like everything around us is basically animal products or are related to animals. As long as you're trying to do something different, it makes a huge difference, and you'll get there eventually. I'll let you know when I get there because it's still taking time. So next I wanted to answer someone's question about who my favorite YouTubers are, and I love this question because I have so many. And I want to start off with some of my quirky ones. So if any of you guys watch like eating shows and mukbangs and things like that, you probably know who I'm talking about. This is Mommy Tang, and I will leave all my favorite YouTubers in the description box below so you can check them out. But Mommy Tang is a vegan. She's living in Philadelphia, and she basically videotapes eating shows or mukbangs, which are just talking and eating in front of the camera. I love her vibe. I love her personality. I think she's very funny, and I do get a lot of recipes from her. So another kind of odd YouTuber that I watch, or she's not an odd YouTuber, it's odd that I watch so diligently, I guess, is Sweet Ams, who basically decorates cookies. Like, she bakes cookies and then decorates them on camera. I just sit and watch all of them. Like, I can't even fast forward through them because they're just so fun to watch. I really can't explain it. So if you guys want to check her out, definitely check her out. As far as like comedy videos go, I do have like your very generic people that I watch. I love Jenna Marbles. I watch all of her stuff. And then very recently, if you guys know Lil Brown Girl, Liza Koshy, I think it is, I like her. She's very funny. So usually, like, if those pop up in my subscription, I will watch it, but I don't go out of the way to kind of watch comedy videos. And then finally, for makeup. So I'm gonna name them all, but obviously in no like specific order. I just love them all. So basically I love Farah Dukai, Ready Set Glamour, Luster Lux, who's also known as Katie. I like Desi Perkins, Irene Sarah, Deepika, Dulce Candy, if I'm saying that right, and obviously Kaushal Beauty. I actually want to talk about Kaushal Beauty first because I love her. I think she's the most gorgeous person on this planet, and she is actually the first person that I saw who did makeup on YouTube. Like, I kind of didn't really watch people before that because they never fit my skin tone, and 3 years later after watching her, I decided to start my own, and shout out to her and like a thank you, I guess, for kind of getting me started on this. And speaking of Kaushal Beauty, I actually think I want to start talking about something else that one of you guys asked me, which is all my tattoos and piercings. So the reason that it has anything to do with Kaushal Beauty is because this inner conch piercing is all from the inspiration of Kaushal Beauty. So I guess before telling you that story, I'll just talk about all my tattoos and piercings. Disclaimer, I was kind of a self-proclaimed rebel growing up. So at this point, my parents know everything. I tell them everything that's happened, with the exception of my two like first piercings and then my nose piercing. Everything else I did myself, literally in my own bathroom basically. I don't by any means encourage anyone to do this. In fact, you probably shouldn't ever pierce your own ears. I'm just letting you guys know that I have. So I have 9 total. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is right in my tragus. And then over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 8, and then I have the tiniest nose ring, which you can't see with this lighting. So yeah, of those 9, I did 6 myself. So basically, these first 2 I got in Australia when I was like 10 months old. My parents took me. The next 2 I did myself, and then the third holes I did myself also. Tragus I got done professionally during prom once, and then it got infected, and I got it done a second time. I don't remember where, but that ended up getting infected too. Then I decided to just do it myself. So did it myself, and now it's been good for almost 4 years now, so that's great. and then I have the inner conch one. So I remember watching Kosho Beauty for, I'm pretty sure it was the first or second time, she like turned and I saw her piercing peek through. And instantly I was like, I really like that. I really like that. So I texted my best friend, who is also like my neighbor. Her name is Nani. So she came over and I was showing her these videos and I was telling her like, wow, that piercing is really, really cool. And we kind of just looked at each other and we were like, wanna go do it? And so we both went upstairs to my bathroom, and in a span of like under 10 minutes, she pierced my ear, I pierced her ear, and we both have like this inner conch piercing, and I will put up a picture of it somewhere here. Again, don't do this at home. Just don't do it. It's probably not safe. So then moving on to tattoos, which isn't even that much better. I have 4 tattoos, and my very first one I did myself. I was 16, it was like a Tuesday afternoon. My parents were downstairs watching like Sun TV, and I went upstairs with some ice, with a sewing needle, this thing called India ink, which I simply Google searched, and apparently it's okay to use. It's called a gel tattoo essentially, and what you do is you just pick up the ink and then you poke it into your skin. The worst part about this is that I tattooed my name onto myself. It's just, who does that? Who tattoos their own name? As if I was ever gonna forget it. That's my first tattoo. So my second tattoo I got freshman year of college. I was probably 18. And it's on my foot. It says, change is the only constant. My feet don't look that pretty right now, so I will probably put another picture of that up. Change is the only constant. It's just a quote. My dad used to say it, and it really stuck with me. And my third tattoo is this one right here. I actually got this with my brother in Philadelphia. It basically says, Amma, Appa, Anna. So that means mother, father, brother. And my reasoning for that tattoo is basically just because my family, we're a very close-knit family. 4 of us are best friends. Like, we tell each other everything. We have so much fun together. Love this tattoo. It's my absolute favorite one. It will always mean so much to me. My parents and my brother are literally my world. They are so supportive of everything I do. They're so understanding of everything I do. And they're just great. They're possibly the best family to ever have, and super lucky to have them all. So, okay, so after that I got my 4th tattoo, which is just paw prints behind my ear. And that tattoo is just pretty self-explanatory. I love animals. So I got that behind my ear, and that is it. Next kind of fact about me, I love to dance. I have been learning Indian classical dance since I was about 4 years old. It's called Bharatanatyam or Bharatanatyam. It's basically a South Indian, very traditional, almost religious style of dance. And I've been doing this for the last 19 years at this point. I did my Arangetram, which is sort of like dance graduation, in 2008. Bharatanatyam became like a huge passion for me. So if animals are my #1 passion, dancing is easily #2. At the same time that my parents put me in dance classes, they also put me in singing classes. So I learned Carnatic music for like 10 years, 12 years maybe. It didn't compare. I really did not like singing, and I just wanted to dance. So eventually they were okay with me stopping music classes, and I just started dancing. Then I just started performing a lot more. I was performing all over, and I still do to this day. In fact, in college I joined a collegiate Bharatanatyam team, so Rutgers Natya. If you haven't heard of them, you should definitely Google them. I was on the team for 4 years. And it was just amazing. We basically competed all over the US and won several times. Being part of a collegiate dance team was a whole new experience, and one that probably made college amazing for me. Like, it's my best experience from college. We would choreograph on our own. We would choose music. We would mix music together and compete together. And it was basically like a family. I remember our practices would go from like 9 p.m. to like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. We had some crazy nights, and I loved it. It was so great. So yeah, dancing has been a huge part of my life. It will continue to be a huge part of my life. I don't have any great videos for you guys to see, but maybe I'll put in one of my practices like from this past summer, just so you guys can see what it is and how I do it. Sorry, that's my phone. Okay, so other hobbies not including dance. Netflix is like a very unhealthy obsession of mine. I've pretty much seen like half of everything that's on Netflix. I like working out. I am starting to get back into it because obviously after my accident I really couldn't do anything for a while, so I actually recently got back into it, and I am not a cardio person at all. I hate cardio, but lifting is my jam, so I do that. This whole YouTube thing is a hobby for me. I hate to leave you guys hanging, and it just sucks because I just can't seem to find enough time to film and upload on any given date. I'm just trying to see how it goes. I do want it to stay a hobby. I don't want to get stressed out by it. I hope you guys don't mind that all the timings are so flaky, but I really do love doing it and I want to keep on doing it. So I'm just trying to, I guess, do it in a way that keeps me kind of level-headed. Favorite music? I am a total like R&B, hip-hop, rap type of person. I barely ever listen to anything else, but I'm also a very open person. Like anyone who sends me any type of music, I love it instantly. I listen to a lot of Tamil music also. So another thing I wanted to talk about was basically how to stay motivated, how to basically have a goal in life and to work towards that. So for me, and it varies from person to person, but I think it's very important for people to kind of know, is have a passion. Like, just have a passion. For me, animals, working with animals is my passion, and I don't think there's no better way for me to describe passion than what I feel for animals. When the first came up, my parents thought I was kidding. Like, they didn't know anything about veterinary medicine, being like first generation Indians in America. They had no idea what veterinary medicine was. It wasn't really something that was very common. The whole focus was always like either medical school or engineering or computer science. When I was about like 10 or 11 years old, I started volunteering at an animal shelter. It was a rescue organization, and I ended up volunteering for 7 straight years. So from like 10 to 17 years old, I was volunteering there every weekend. I wanted to go there because it was my chance to be with animals. And I think at that point it started to set into them that this is what I wanted to do. So I guess at this point, I want to mention that if you are interested in medical school or veterinary medical school, which you should be, you need to work for that really early on. So many reasons as to why it's hard to get into these schools, and for the longest time, it kind of upset me, like, oh, you need to have this much experience, you need to have this high of a GPA, you need to do so much. But I really think it is good that it is so strict and hard to get into one of these schools, because being in vet school now, the amount of information that you will have to retain is unbelievable. So like, I totally underestimated it. I never predicted that it would be this hard. And I did really well in school. High school, I got an A's in everything. I got a full scholarship to undergrad. So for 4 years, I just went for free. I did excellent in college. I graduated summa cum laude from Rutgers. So I retained science information really well. And I think just because of how much I like it, like science is kind of easy for me to do well in. That being said, vet school is a whole different ball game, and I'm sure medical school is. They're very similar. Imagine everything you've learned in 4 years of college, you probably learn in like half a year in vet school. That's the amount of information, that's the amount of testing. So basically, saying you need to get good grades, you need to have a certain GPA, you need to have certain test scores kind of makes sense, because you need to prove that you can handle what they're going to throw at you in medical school or veterinary school. A lot of it has to do with the importance of the career. Medicine is basically just like the ultimate responsibility, because you literally have someone or something's life in your hands, and the decisions that you make affect that. And so that's a huge responsibility. So you really do have to work your butt off to get into one of these schools. So the reason I'm pressing how hard it is because it relates to that passion that I mentioned. You have to have a passion in order to do something like this. If you don't have a passion, it is so easy to get frustrated. It is so easy to kind of get lost, to not be motivated, and in a field like this, that can be very dangerous. It does get tough. The stress is crazy, off the charts stressful. And I'm just in school, you know, like I don't even have a job yet. And veterinary school especially, if anyone is interested in veterinary medicine, you need to know that you wouldn't want to wake up doing anything else ever. At least for medicine, for most medical jobs, there's a lot of money in it. For veterinary medicine, there really isn't. It doesn't even compare for the amount of work that you put in. So if your idea of a career is just to make money and it's not really substantiated with that kind of passion, then vet medicine is definitely not the way to go. You can definitely have a job in various other fields that can make a lot more money. So I don't know how long I talked about that, but basically for everyone who is kind of struggling to figure out what they want to do, if they know what they want to do and they want to know how to stay motivated, it's basically to find a passion. Please do not like fake it till you make it. That's not going to work out. And I guess I also want to kind of relay this to people who want to do something, but maybe because of external pressures are being forced to do something else. So like, let's say you don't want to do medicine, you don't want to do engineering or IT, don't. It's too hard to do it if you don't want to do it. So if you have something you want to do, go for it. Everyone that I know that has other passions like photography or journalism or just social work, they're happy. That's just my 2 cents about life and career and studying. That is basically as much as I can tell you about me. I feel like I covered most of the important things. If you guys would like to know anything more about me, please leave it in the comment section below and I will 100% definitely reply to each and every single one. But yeah, like this video down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video, whenever that may be. Thank you guys, I love you guys so much, bye.